From the mysterious world of Hyrule, Ganon has sent out a randomized force throughout the land. 4 brave souls have offered to join us in their journey, and is now being broadcasted directly to the comfort of your home. As we say good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're in the world, welcome to today's ALTTPR daily race here on Speed Gaming 3. We have ourselves an open seed, and our runners are Technolink, MY Rambler, Nelson Alex 92, and Wolfie out of a pool of 15 other racers. My name is Professor Render, and joining me in the commentary booth is my good friend Nitro 6003. It's good to be back.
It is great to be back. Sunny day, gorgeous outside. Great days for some awesome randomizer craziness.
Oh, for sure. So we have ourselves an open sea. We will not be going through the 6-minute escape sequence as the world is open to us right from the get-go. We can also go to the front of escape, the back of escape, whatever we so choose. Whenever we have the opportunity to do so, we'll need a few other runners. Looks like we are getting our last runner in pretty soon. We'll drop. The flag is going to be dropping in about a few seconds here.
Yeah, we'll have to see what direction people go in and what the item is in both Link's house and in Sanctuary this afternoon.
Definitely. So we're gonna have a bit of a backstory between these two. MY Rambler being one of the members of the league. Nelson Alex is also a member of the league. Technolink needs no introduction. He's quite a familiar person within the daily race, and Wolfie, also a familiar face within the community. And we have the flag dropped right now. We see these runners going off pretty soon.
We'll see if it's half and half start Sanctuary, or if they all start at Sanctuary. It's kind of an interesting first decision. Like, where do you want to start?
I tend to start Sanctuary just so I can get to the Lumberjack Ledge check out of the way, and then lead into Lost Woods and Kakariko, just so that I can get that started. And we are off here on Speed Gaming number 3. We have both half the left side of the screen going to get over to Link's house. That was just a piece of art, and my Rambler finding some gloves within the Sanctuary. Wolfie is also off. We have our first map check. Red crystal on Eastern Palace, along with another blue crystal on Hera. Didn't see what the thing was on Desert Palace, but some early
like
5-6 crystals
to me.
Okay, that's fair. So Technolink and Nelson are going for the Uncle starts. That is a pretty typical start that most of the runners will do, and going for the Lumberjack Ledge check over on NY Rambler's side, and 20 rupees out of the Uncle. The secret chests will follow short.
And that glove also opens up the back of the escape to those 3 chests that are bomb locked. And it's also nice to see the bush crab giving some money.
Oh, that was a rod that I saw from off of the Lumberjack Ledge. It's possible. I don't know if that was a fire rod or the ice rod. I couldn't tell from my perspective. But if it's that ice rod, then we may or may not need to kill Aga 1.
I thought I saw a number underneath it. It looked like a sword to me, but I'll go with what you said.
Oh, it was okay. It was a sword. Okay, fair enough. So we won't be grabbing that one sword. Rambler finding a shovel off of the dig spot. Still not the dig spot, the mushroom spot. It's pretty much a fetch quest still, so it kind of counts as that same spot. 50 rupees from the drop down, and Rambler opting not to go to Kakariko just yet, opting to wait out to do a couple more checks. Probably want to look for that flute and or mirror, or flute and or Botto. It's also likely that he's going over to the dig spot, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And yeah, that Wolfie does confirm that it was a sword.
Yeah, with the sword there, unless the game wants to be really, really mean, that sword's going to just sit there for all of eternity.
Yeah, and it's not really it's something that most of the runners will not go into unless it's like, for whatever reason, 3 crystals, like 3 swords in GT as we find a Moon Pearl just hanging out on the dig spot. That leads to some progression. We already have either a hammer or mitts away from Darkwold access.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the only way you get it, I guess, in this, as you said, either they're all in GT or far worse, you have a pedestal and a sword on a tablet, in which case you can't read the tablet, you can't get the tablet item. So that would be the only worst case scenario, but those chances are quite slim.
Definitely. Race Game didn't have anything of use, and Rambler is going to look at the library, does 3 bombs. Nilsson heading over to the Blind's hut as Technolink is going to buy some bombs. Techno opting to go for the back of the brewery, of the tavern, just 20 rupees inside the Blind's hut. We have 5 rupees, 20 rupees. A mirror in the... Oh, there's another sword, so that... Get rid of that immediately. There's also a mirror at the well, along with the can of Samaria, and another sword.
So yeah, that kills Aga almost. Oh, and an ice rod too.
Very much a stacker Rico if I've ever seen one myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the chicken hut only having a piece of heart.
My Fisher Price first shield at the bottle vendor.
So we already have. So we have a shield, swords, and quite a number of items here. And this is definitely a great start to have in this very early portion of the game. Kane doesn't really do much, but at first glance, but it could be pretty useful for some various tech that we will see, may or may not see in this seed.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And usually when you get an early ice rod, usually Turtle Rock ends up being like a pendant or something that you never need to go into, which is nice.
Well, that's mostly just some sort of like... Well, looks like there is also confirmation here that the Desert Palace is also a 5/6. Yeah, but that ice rod, it's like the whole thing about ice rod being so early that it's probably Turtle Rock being dependent is just like the most typical, like it's like a not really a typical response, but something that is common alongside like.
Well, especially with 3 crystals already in the light world, it makes it even more probable that Turtle Rock could be a pendant.
Yeah, for sure, especially now that the 5/6 crystals have also been revealed to us. Okay, so Rambler heading over to South Shore. Is going to go check out the dam, and then more likely over to Mini Moldorm and then Ice Rod Cave.
I wonder with Moon Pearl, does he... Well, he could fake Flipper, but he won't have the money for Zora just yet. So we'll see. Oh, maybe he will. With that 300 there, that'll help.
Yeah, that's just about 100 away before getting that Zora money, so we're getting a little bit closer to that. So Rambler might opt to go for that if he finds more rupees coming up here. Then
and
actually,
that's 50 there. That may definitely influence his decision to go to the fake Flipper up to Zora.
Yeah, it's almost 40 rupees short. Now about 20 rupees short. So this
and I think
will.
When he killed that bush crab, he was a little aggravated because he's like, "Wait, they're dropping 20s."
Yeah, technically gonna get the Moon Pearl from off of the dig spot, while Rambler heading over to the Midi Moldorm cave. If this has more rupees, then yeah, this decision is gonna be pretty clear. Fake Flipper over to Zora area. It'll be good to go. Piece of Hearts, 20 rupees. There's that decision. Lamp, Aga 1 might be possible to be in play or not in play, and that hookshot now that even makes it more in play because that's Aga Darkwold ready to go for NY Rambler.
Yep.
And electing to save and quit and not go over Ice Rod Cave, nor going up to the Zora area, instead going up the mountain with that
That's
lamp
a smart
and
play
hookshot.
because all of East Death Mountain is open. Plus, if you get lucky and get that other mitt, you can clear out the Dark World side also. So this could be a smart decision.
Yeah, before he goes up there, though, it's going to take a quick detour to the back of Escape. That's also fair. It's close by. It doesn't take too long. You can just save him quit and then immediately head up the mountain.
Yep, exactly.
All
Let's
right,
see if
back
any of
us-
our other runners decide to go a different direction.
The Bombos medallion was found in the back of Escape. That's one of our 3 medallions that could potentially be useful if we get into the Dark World, and we probably will see the Dark World in a little bit as for a map check. Just gonna maybe head over to Hera, get that first blood going, and then head down to East Death Mountain to continue the trail through. Wolfie opting to go for Agita's Cave, while Nilson Alex is heading over to Ice Rod Cave. This is something that Rambler had skipped on the way over. 3 bombs for Wolfie, and Technolink's going to get a little hint regarding the potential for it to be AGA 1 required for the Dark World.
Well, they still have the entire escape sequence that they can go through if they decide to go that route too, to try to find that hammer.
Right, or mitts, depending on what we find here.
Did
Preferably
Rambler
hammer.
find the hammer?
Oh
Where
wait,
did you find the
Rambler
hammer? Where do you find that?
It was in the Dark Cross, the chat said.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's pretty big. So map check. We are going to be heading over to Turtle Rock, as that ice rod is going to be necessary, as Pod and Skullwoods is the rest of the pendants, and Swamp Palace is our green pendant. And Rambler heading over to Hype Cave. Nilson Alex fake flippering, and Wolfie gonna get the hint that's a little bit of a brief hint about AGA 1. Techno is going to head down to get the hammer from out of Dark Cross. And from the looks of things from this Hype Cave, nothing of value.
No, just some rupees, it looked like.
Not really too surprised, if
No,
I'm honest. And the Waterfall Fairy didn't have anything of use, as Nelson is opting to go for Zora area. This is in logic with those gloves, and this makes tons of sense. And we find some arrows on the Zora ledge. Hammer gets the hammer picked up for Technolink, as Wolfie going to be making their way over to Ice Rod Cave. Stumpy having a fairy in a bottle.
Well, that opens Sick Kid with the mirror, so they can mirror out right in front of Sick Kid and get that item too.
And a 5% and it's like a 1% return on investment for Nilson Alex, because that was 5 rupees.
Oh, that's painful.
Not too surprising as well, but 20 rupees on K45. Technolink gonna head over to Hype Cave as well. Gonna be, I don't want to say disappointed, but like it's like, yeah, this is just expected from Hype Cave to find out there's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's sad that it's kind of lost its meaning, but either way.
Even then, like in version 18, when the throwback proceeds were going on, I didn't find anything in Hype Cave like that was useful, and I was led to believe that there was something of use. 3 bombs are on the dig game, pretty short digs too.
Well, that's always good. You always like the short digs, quick, deep, and painless.
Okay, so Rambler is gonna go and check out the Sick Kid, which is a fair call, because you got that bottle from off of Stumpy. Only a heart container, but it's better than nothing, because we haven't had a lot of hearts from the beginning of this seed.
Yeah, this is a very low health seed so far, which is really rare.
not really so rare, but it can happen with like a very front loaded Kakariko like we saw
Oh,
just
absolutely, you're right.
about 10 minutes ago. Okay, so Rambler is going to be heading over to the Village of Outcasts or Skull Woods area. It's so close by. I wouldn't be surprised if like Rambler goes to Skull Woods because it's a pendant. You're able to like at least explore the area. And how I see pendants usually is that if it's a pendant, it's nearby. I'll just explore it as part of that specific area, and that's exactly what Rambler is going to be doing. Going to be leading over to Skull Woods, hoping to find 2 items in the front and hope.
That's always the best thing to do, as you said. Hope to find the 2 items as fast as possible, and nope out, and hope you never have to go to the back.
Yeah, it's best to do that. It's best, and if hope to God you don't find a fire rod, like, or having to find an item that's fire rod lights over on buff or on the bridge chest. So Rambler gonna use that Canvas of Mario to make that Gibdo room a lot quicker. There's like so that there is a key, so we can do a couple things with that key. Either you want to go to the back, or like if you drop down and use that and not waste that key, or head over to that over to here what Rambler is doing and climb over to and just use that key up. Nelson, however, is on the mountain. I didn't see what it was on Old Man, but what I do see is that there's a heart piece and 20 rupees on top and inside Spectacle Rock.
And Wolfie's heading to get his hammer, which will be very excited for him.
Bravo did take a death, but he's got that fairy in hand, so this shouldn't be too terrible. I mean, it's a waste of a fairy. It's not the best. And half magic.
There's the first item.
Yeah, first item picked up for by Rambler. It's half magic. It's a nice pickup to find. It definitely boosts the usage of that fire rod when we do find it to 16 shots. And there's another
there goes
sword.
Skull Woods, both items.
Yeah, no, the other one's a heart piece, so or heart container rather. But Nelson Alex did find a sword in Hera, the first chest of that. And if he doesn't find a key, he finds a key. Nelson could elect to go for okay, so he took a lot of damage there, so I'm not really too shocked to see Nelson just decide not to go for the Hera pipe because I mean, we know that big key is going to be in that particular, like in the big key chest. It'll be lamp locked or fire source locked, and C-shaped house having a piece of heart. Well, Technolink is going to go check out the brewery. And the heart piece there as well.
I like having Canis and Mario for the tile room. It makes it so much easier to get that tile glitch.
Oh, the copy break. Yeah, you land on like you hit the switch when you hit the switch and then you land on top of the pegs. That gives you enough iframes to make it through the room, and just you have to wait out the timer and then you're good to go. And there's that big key for Nelson Alex. Technolink into Thieves Town. Well, Rambler is about to head there as well. The big key is found in the first chest there. It's to be expected from the logic. And Rambler is taking a death, I think, to reset his health. There's a mushroom over on Technolink's side as well. And Wolfie is opting to go for East F Mountain instead of going up to Hera, which... Okay, there's the second item over in Tower Hera, just a hearts container, and that's just it. And but Nelson will draw first blood here as soon as he finishes off Moldor. And Wolfie into Paradox Cave. there's the other heart container. Another heart container for Technolink.
This will be a definitely quick fight unless he gets knocked off.
Yeah, it's with a spin of a slash, you're good to go. They're going
Yep.
for 2 slashes here, but that'll be first blood for Nilsson Alex at around 1740 as at the time of pickup. 1739, close enough. And 3 bombs, 50 rupees, and a heart container or heart piece, and then another bottle. And a heart piece from off of the top 5 chests in the Paradox Cave. Not really paying out much after the bottle, which will lead to. I mean, Luffy will check sick hit, but won't find anything of use there.
No, unfortunately not.
Nelson is also heading over to Paradox Cave. Going to read what's on the floating island. Just 10 arrows. And is opting to go for Spiral Cave, which is fair. I don't really see a reason for it, of course. A lot of people think it's slow because you're better off seeing this cave with the boots on. But I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, it's monotonous, like very tedious.
But this is his best chance of error, and then since he's already got his crystal, he could just pretty much nope out and not have to go back up a second time. So it's actually potentially a little faster the way he did it, going first to Hera, especially with the hammer, able to then go down to Spiral Cave and then do Paradox and then be finished, rather than having to climb the mountain a couple of times. So it kind of saves a little bit of time, I think.
Then again, Wolfie decided not to go for, decided just not to do, decided to go for go here before, like just the first, then go, like do the rest of the cave, but the rest of the Death Mountain, and decided to go for East Death Mountain first, then right after Hera, and that could be a little bit, it could be better than just having to do another. But both Nelson and Wolfie are doing makes tons of sense because they're doing it all in one trip because they have the necessary materials to do it all in one trip. Technically finding a key out of the Maiden's chest, so it's going to be looking at the big chest here with a hammer. That's no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And just $20 there.
So Technolink will get their first crystal off of Blind, and this fight can be completely done on scripts if you know the script for it. The first 3 is actually pretty simple. Just poke them, and then you're good. Poke them, and you're good to go. And then the rest of the sequence, just watch and learn. 'Cause I can't really explain it.
I definitely can't get it on my first try, so yeah, definitely watch and learn.
It's actually going for a different. It's actually going to stay off script and not actually do the actual blind script. So this fight could be this will be a little tricky, especially now he's on a half a heart.
Ooh,
Does not want to
takes
get
it
poked
down.
like down.
Luckily, he has a fairy.
That's the best thing. Yeah, that's just having to find a parry so that you're good to go for that one. The best thing about the first 2 bottles that we found was that we did have fairies in each one of the bottles. So this should, like, if you take a death here, that's not too much of a problem. You can be as reckless as possible. Wolfie getting denied the access to the drop down, and Wolfie Rambler also taking that death, but remember he did use that fairy before and has to do the fights entirely blind. Pun not intended. And with that, this time Wolfie getting revenge with a spin and a slash. Mulderm's down.
Looks like Technolink is heading to Magic Bat.
It's going to do fake powder. That's the trick where when you, because the mushroom and the when you use your cane as Samaria and then immediately go to the like hover over to the mushroom, you'll be able to use the powder and get the magic bat item entirely out of logic for 50 rupees, because the mushroom and the powder occupy the same slot, and with some messed up weird behavior with the cane, you trying to use the cane and then immediately heading over to hover to the mushroom, it causes it to say, okay, you have the powder even though you don't. I don't know, like what we're describing is very basic knowledge of it.
Yeah, exactly. Good explanation of that.
Close enough. Techno gonna go look at the bumper ledge, and Rambler. I don't know if Rambler took a death and has opted not to finish the dungeon, finish up Thieves Town, or I mean, he's going up the mountain. That will let him do Hera and clear that one out. I don't know what was up with that. And Techno is gonna get the information about the tempered sword that is on his side of the screen, and we already know where all 4 sword locations are anyway. So they're pretty they're not too far away from each other. Of course, we're not gonna get the one that we first saw directly at the start of the game, but it's good to know.
Yeah,
knowledge is power.
it sure is. And it looks like Wolfie's gonna fake flipper up to the witch.
Yeah, and quite literally knowledge is power, because we find the Book of Medora on top of Bumper Cave, and Pendulum gonna take a death on the Murder-Dactyls just after that.
I despise those things.
I mean, they do hurt.
Especially and they keep following you regardless of what you do. So yeah, they will hunt you down.
But you have a sword. That means you can just kill them pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But they're still relentless.
Yeah, relentless. And we're not talking about the game Relentless Twins' Adventure. But aside from that, though, Technolink is going to head over to Pod. Looks like the Pod area. That is entirely fair. We still are looking for that bow. We're looking for Fire Rod, logically the flippers, and also the flute, and also medallions.
Well, I'm gonna guess with these runners that they would rather not find they'd rather find the flute be the last item that they need is the flippers, because then they could technically fake flipper to Ice Palace and not worry about anything crazy being in Swamp, but we'll have to wait and see.
Right, and that's I mean, the fact that I'm saying that it logically would need the flippers is because Ice Palace is what I consider to be a soft flipper lock and not a hard flipper lock. And because
right, Swamp Palace is a hard flipper lock.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that. A hard flipper lock is Swamp Palace, and then Ice is like a soft flipper block because you have access to fake flippers. And Technolink is opting to go for the powder, which is the mushroom. And it's actually not going to do the mirror bunk strategy, which is actually a lot quicker than it normal. It was just a lot quicker because you can just mirror bunk on the you can mirror bunk on the grass, and it will still count as you getting the and it will count as you getting that screen transition outside, so that way you can do that with the powder can the mushroom can go into effect. Technolink, while it's gonna wait that out, is going over to Catfish, which is a fair call.
And it's like once you go there, it's like you're either gonna go there or never go there from what I've seen with Catfish.
Yeah, especially with an important item. like, for all we know, that item could be pretty important, but not much so. But 300 rupees will take any time of the day. Quite a lot of money.
So Nielsen Alex got his second crystal. He is 2/7 of the way there.
Okay, so Technolink is gonna go and look at that powder. I keep saying powder, but the mushroom spot and just 3 bombs. So at this point in time, you have options. You could go into Eastern without the bow, or you could also go Pod without the bow. You could also go I would say more so Pod without the bow because it is a pendant. You're not like hard required to get it unless Helmazar has an item. But
Yeah,
Technolink,
I guess what I might do is I might start heading to Pod, go to Sahashala, check his closet, and then pay off Kiki, the extortionist, and then from there I would go to. I would have Pod and Eastern available to at least check the first chest in Pod to see if it was bow locked. If it was, then go right to Eastern and get as many of the items as you can from there. And if you find the bow, you can clear it.
but Technolink has opted to go for Graveyard Ledge, which is that's his fair call. I personally would agree with you going over to Pod and over to the Pod area, turn into go to Sahasrala's closet, and then go and do like Pod Eastern or some form of another. But looks like Techno is opting not to go for it at the moment, so I think his call might be. I'm pretty sure he has not went up the mountain yet.
No, especially he doesn't have Tower of Hera, so obviously that's the more dense option for him. And obviously he doesn't know what we know, that he's not going to find a bow, but if he were to find a bow up there, it would make the Pod and Eastern area a little bit more reasonable to see. So it's definitely much better to go up the mountain first, do your item density up there. But again, he doesn't know what we know.
Exactly. And while he might not find a bow, he will find a tempered sword. And that is great. We'll be getting the half magic from off of Skull Woods. And Rambler gonna have the Spiral Cave. Again, the boots makes it look tedious, and it kinda is. But I don't really necessarily agree. Yeah, but the boots is better in this situation because you can just dash through it. You move kind of fast in itself without the boots, like sort of, I guess. And yeah, you might call it the Resident Sleeper Cave, but I don't really want to call it that because it's not really the dumb. It's not. I don't know. It's not really that tiresome of a cave to go through, if without the boots. Nelson Alex for Pod.
All right, so let's see if he takes my route, checking Sahashala, paying off Kiki, and then at least seeing what the first item is in Pod, and then again, if it is bow locked, going straight to Eastern. And that's exactly what he's gonna do.
Yeah, this is the call that you would make because you're in the area of Sahasrala. You have to go. You might as well go here right away if you haven't done this already. So this makes tons of sense. 20 rupees, a single rupee, and 3 bombs in Sahasrala's closet. So at minimum, it will be either in Pod or Eastern, whoever it is.
Yeah.
And Nilsson, I don't know if he got potions or not, because if he did get potions,
Oh, he could do the potion
He-
glitch. Yeah.
yeah, he could do potion camera unlock, and Technolic is attempting to do a hero pot. It's a fairly a fairly recent glitch, but like super recent as some of the newer tech that we've found with the Can of Savaria. Just gave it 2 attempts and decided to just go do it the intended way, or not.
Has anyone gone through the escape sequence?
No,
The castle?
no one has gone to the
Interesting.
castle. I don't believe, but we did see Back of Escape.
We did.
Haven't seen the front. There's the hero pot for Technolink.
All right, so we definitely know Pod is not bow locked, at least for the first key.
Second key is also second chest of the key, so down towards the. It's actually so he's gonna be heading over to, more likely this chest will contain a key for a key, depending on the logic of the dungeon.
Yeah, I never understood that whole key for a key thing, but I mean, Pod's key logic is so bizarre. Why you need a key to get a key, but there is the big key, and that is very important.
So the key logic in this case means that there will be a key right here. The way that the keys work is that there has to be at least 4 keys in the front, regardless.
Right.
And
definitely,
everything
yeah,
else will have to be in the back end, and that's why some people will consider this as a quote-unquote mullet mansion, because as a mullet would be, you have, as they say, business in front, party in the back. I don't really use that terminology.
Oh, and actually, we have NY Rambler heading through the escape sequence.
Oh, and looks like Rambler may have found the flippers there.
Not the item he wants to find.
That leads him to ice, but also swamps available. But
And that's just terrible.
honestly, 6 items. It's item dense. Swamp House is item dense.
Oh, it is, but it's a green
when-
pendant.
Yeah, with 7 items, that makes it 7 items.
Yeah, 7 items.
So, if I'm honest, I'm gonna follow the breadcrumbs. I'd follow it because I usually go for item density more than anything else in the world. And will I find anything? Probably not, but it's worth to follow the item density.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you were to find the Titan's mitts in there, yeah, that would be huge. So we'll have to wait and see what he decides to do with that information. And so far, Pod not having anything of value.
And as I realized too, now because swamps are only accessed at this point in time with that would be locking the flippers. Ice will need the Titan's Mitts to even get that rock to enter Ice Palace at all.
So it kind of almost has to be swamp at this point.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I would say just go for swamp. You have to go for swamp at this point in time.
Yeah.
So
I
we'll
forget,
see
is the bumper ledge rock Titan's mitts or power glove? I forget. Do you know?
by
'Cause
glove.
I know the book is there.
By glove, but not mitts.
So then, if the book is available, then all the tablets are available.
But we would need the cape for that.
Oh, I didn't. I thought someone picked up the cape. My mistake. I
No
thought somebody
one
picked
has.
it up somewhere, but I guess not.
We got the cape of Berta, which is why Nelson's doing Spike Cave.
So maybe this is Cape potentially, or Mitts, or
Male.
Red Mail.
Yeah, male. That's
Not
fair.
helpful.
Well, I beg to differ, but
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, it's always nice, but it's not gonna give him something that he needs to beat the game, so to speak. So, yeah, it's always nice. I always like to get Red Mail.
yeah. If you're gonna find anything terrible, if you're gonna find something that's like not progression, but it's nice to have on hand, it has to be red mail. That half magic.
Definitely. Yeah. I think I'd take Red Mail over half magic any day.
Okay, Nilson Alex is heading to the front of Escape, so he's gonna get the flippers. At this point in time, I would think Nilson would have a better shot. I mean, I think Nilson would go for Swamp, either that follow the Shane through the flipper checks if he hasn't done them already. Rambler is gonna go for the mana underneath the bridge. I believe we have saw this already, but I can't really count on that. But that's just 20 rupees anyway.
So not important. Just another item that you can knock off the list, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's the best that I could really come out of this. So, Rambler is gonna head. I would mostly say Swamp. At this point, he is heading down. His intention is more likely Swamp, which is fair. Yeah, this is the Swamp play.
Yeah, with all that item density, yeah.
Yeah, it's so really. I don't think the flippers are going to be the most terrible thing because we haven't found the bits, and we don't have access to Ice Palace at all. So this would make tons of sense for Rambler to go in there.
And think of how early all the items were given to you to go into Swamp Palace. So yeah, that's actually the seeds were there from the beginning, giving us all the access to it from the beginning. Because remember, those flippers were in Logic pretty much from the very, very beginning, because it's in the escape sequence, in the Castle Towers escape sequence, the front of it.
Yeah. So Wolfie is
and it looks like Nielsen's is heading that way also.
I don't think I saw Wolfie with the flippers though. Or he did go to Escape.
Yeah, so he has the flippers, I think, according to Tracker.
So Rambler is in Swamp, and Nelson is also going for Swamp. Okay, so Wolfie's heading for Pod, and not because
there's your fire rod.
So
there's one good. There's one item.
Yeah, that's Turtle Rock access for Rambler, but we still need to get the
we still need mitts.
Everything hinges on those mitts.
So already Swamp Palace is a 10 out of 10 because that's already one item closer to go mode. They might be in go mode at the end of the dungeon. We'll see what happens.
Right, but it really, I think honestly, the best thing to find currently is it would have to be the bow or the bow and flute, but because we're still
mitts.
And the mitts too.
Yeah, both flute mitts.
Yeah, at this point, you gotta realize too, but all the runners only have one medallion. For all we know, Meyer and Turtle Rock could lead them out of go mode just so they can find their bomb boat, like either Ether or Quake, depending on what happens. It's a 33% chance, but it's possible. 5 rupees down there in Swamp. And Rambler is opting to go for the green. That looks like to go for the back and probably have the green pendant. not gonna go for Diver Down, which is fair if Rambler is not really too comfortable or doesn't know a whole lot about Diver Down. So it's gonna drain the it's gonna open the third water switch to drain the water for the flooded chests, and Nelson is going to go and get that 5 rupees. See if Nelson wants to go and do the Diver Down. However, the 2 flooded chests we will find 300 rupees and the Ether Medallion, so that's 2.
So now we have a 66% chance that we have the medallions required for this seed.
Yeah, it should be 66. It's still not. There's still a possible.
67.
Yeah, or 67 if you want to round it up to the nearest hole.
Right, but then Misery Mine and Turtle Rock can both be Quake, so we can be still looking for medallions anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the 2 medallions here, they have, they will be able to do, like, they have a bit of peace of mind. And to answer a question in chat there, we have not done the Hookshot Cave because we're still looking for the bits. Rambler is on to the Argus fight. And Nilson Alex is also not going to go do the Diver Down, but he will get the Ether Medallion.
Now we don't have map or compass, or we are missing 2 dungeon items.
Yeah, because we found a lot of
There's
items.
the mitts.
There's the mitts! Oh.
So that means Big Key and the other dungeon item and one other item are left in the dungeon if I counted correctly. So there's only 1 item left.
Yeah, that should be the case. The Big Key and a map is what they're saying.
Right, big key map, and then whatever's in the big key chest. It could be the big key for all we know.
Yeah, because it can lock its own. It can lock its own chest. So Rambler not going to take any chances. Is going up for Ice Palace. Just going to follow that time over to Ice Palace, which is entirely fair because you found the mints off of Argus. Not a really good place to find it, but you had your only other option at this point. It would have to either be Pod Eastern or in Swamp as the big places to find items.
But didn't he go into Pod already?
I think so. No. I don't remember.
And Nielsen Alex is going to Dark Death Mountain for his logic of following the breadcrumbs. So we'll see what he finds. He will be able to go do Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave.
Okay, so our tracker and are saying and Rambler had never went to Pod, which I think is the correct call. We didn't find anything in Pen and Pod. This was the correct call for Rambler to go right here. And Nelson is opting to go for is going to opt to do Super Bunny from the top and not from the bottom, as Nelson is wanting to look at the possibility of entering Turtle Rock if it's Bombos or Ether, which I think is okay.
That's not a bad choice.
And Rambler is opting to do the Icebreaker clip. This is one of the more recent tricks that our community has found and also officially approved by the Racing Council. It is Ether for Turtle Rock, so we are able to go into Turtle Rock.
I saw some of the runners practicing this before.
There it is.
Gets it. Nice.
Very nicely done for NY Rambler. This lets you skip a good majority of Ice Palace and lets you do it directly to the chest. And Nilson is not going to waste any time. He's going into Ice Palace, or Ice Palace, Turtle Rock. And as we welcome in Speed Gaming number 1, with a party of 96, today we have ourselves the ALTTP, our daily race. We have Technolink, NY Rambler, NilsonAlex92, and Wolfie as they're playing an open seed, which means that we don't have to go through the 6-minute escape sequence that we are required to go to. I'm Professor Renderer, my co-coms Nitro 6003. Our trackers for tonight are Windfox 740, or 470, and Ednar.
What's really interesting to me is that both Technolink and NY Rambler, neither one of them went to Eastern Palace after doing Pendant Pod. They both saved and quit.
There's a bug net in the big chest of Ice Palace. Not really that it's not progression, but it's nice to have to catch fairies if you have the opportunity to get that. And Nelson, I want to say took a daff. I didn't see. Techno.
Where's Technolink going?
I'm not sure what he's.
Does he did. Where's he going?
He doesn't have the cape. I don't think he has the cape. Oh, he's going over to okay. He's going to go to the Village of Outcast area from a different route.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but the thing is, he cannot check the pen because we have a book that's locked behind the cape, so he can't check pen.
Right.
And Ice Palace is cleared out. And that is that's second crystal for NY Rambler. Just an ether medallion, or just pretty much like.
So the only thing that could be on pad is boots or flute that we actually could need.
Yes. Or a bow, but really it doesn't, because there could be a bow because of version 31's because of version 31. But let's be honest here, since when would anyone go for the pedestal just to find your silver arrow bow?
Yeah, not these runners of these caliber, definitely not.
Yeah, for sure. And especially since they're playing on advanced logic, so a game expects you to know Syphilis Ganon. So that makes a lot of sense. As basic logic, only expects you to have the silver arrows by that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And Wolfie's going for the front of Eastern. This is without the bow, so this will be if Wolfie doesn't find a bow here, then this will be a double dip later on. Rambler is opting to go for Super Bunny Cave and not going to open up to Golden Turtleback just yet. Nothing of use there, and Wolfie finding 20 rupees in the compass chest.
Well, for Wolfie's sake, I hope he finds a bow, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Rambler on the Hookshot Cave. Got 20 rupees in the bonk chest. Then we have a piece of heart, a red boomerang. Okay, not really the best to find at the moment, and then 100 rupees. And then Mimic Cave is just 10 arrows.
So really nothing on Dark Death Mountain.
And Wolfie looked like it was some muscle memory, but the big key is going to be in its normal location.
Yeah.
Big chest of Turtle Rock is just 5 rupees. And technically Link is heading to the front of Escape, so that means he'll get the flippers.
Which will get him back where he needs to be to continue on with this seed, essentially. Because everything was in Swamp Palace that we know of.
Yeah, because that was the ether and then the Tides Mist. that was
And the fire rod.
That is, and the fire rod. Yeah, the fire rod. So that's that'll be a big thing here. So Techno has got the flippers and might be kicking himself there because could have had that a long time ago if you had found the first sword, like first couple of swords, and then opt to go for there, because that is essentially a sphere. That was a sphere 1 check.
Yeah, and there's no bow inside of Eastern Palace, so it will be a double dip for Wolf.
Yes, so it's not really that fun to look at, but Nelson is going to give us some more information in the form of the laser bridge. I don't know if Nelson would want to go. Okay, so he's got the Cane of Burnout, so that's fair for him to check to do this. There's that necessary key for Trinex, but after that we also have 20 rupees, 300 rupees. Taking a fall there, getting a bit more damage, getting 1.0 there.
Gotta be careful here. Oh, I hope he has a fairy.
He's shucking.
Oh, he does.
He's got okay.
That is really good luck for him, because if he had not gotten a fairy, he would have been sent all the way back to where the Mimic Cave is. There's our bow on Laser Bridge, because why not?
Oh, that's great news for Nelson Alex, and especially for Rambler as well. This I would put Nelson a bit of ahead of the pack here, in my being on his trail by a few minutes, and this is great news because that will let him do Eastern, and that will let him pretty much at this point all is left is a flute, and for all we know, I don't know if I didn't count Wolfie's items, but if we had found 2 items in the front, then for all we know, the flute could just be on. It could be on Armos.
It could be.
Again, it depends on. I don't know if I counted my items correctly, but Nelson's on the phase 2 of Tridex.
Well, I guess the timing is just about maybe will be really close, because remember, Nielsen did not do he did not do Dark Death Mountain, so no Super Bunny Cave or any of that. So we'll have to see. And I know that Rambler did, so it'll probably be pretty darn close when they both come out of the area.
Right, but considering Dark Death Mountain checks are pretty short, this shouldn't be a big issue. And as our tracker pointed out too, Rambler has yet to clear off Thieves Town because he had died on blind a couple times and opted to leave it.
Ooh, yes, you're right. I forgot about that.
So Nilsson is going to head over to Hookshot Cave, and that will also lead him over to Super Bunny Cave, but that will pretty much... I think he'll make his answer clear. He probably will want to go to Eastern, or wait a bit. But considering that too, with the Eastern Palace being the other 5-6, Pyramid Fairy will now be accessible once Nelson House is finished. For all we know, that can also be where the flute is. And to answer a question in chat, we have information about the book. It's locked behind the cape in Bumper Ledge. That could also lead to the possibility of cape to book to tablets, or information about the pedestal being our access to the flute.
Yeah, we'll have to. That would be the worst case scenario, is a fetch quest on the pedestal, because then you're like, do I do them or do I not?
Yeah, because that could become a big problem. If you find something like actually, now we're thinking about it, we have for the most part all of our fetch quests done.
Yes.
We did fake powder. We did do the mushroom. We did do the shovel. So
The shovel was no. Shovel was Moon Pearl.
right.
Right?
That's my point. We
Oh,
already
right.
done, yeah, we've done
Right, we've
everything.
done
We
all
did
the
all the
fetch
fetch quests. Yeah, we did all the fetch quests. But Nilsson had checked Sashrella, and it was just a piece of hearts, so that eliminates the green pendant. But even then, it was still important, so not like it really matters. But Nilsson is heading over to Eastern Palace. This will be all in one dip.
And he does
yeah,
not have Samaria. I mean, he does not have Burna. So I have to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, this is one thing too. You have to bait. You have to bait out the lasers and hope to God you don't get hit. I probably would use the safety door as a result of it.
Yeah, I would too. I almost always get the safety door in TR just because.
And yeah, this makes tons of sense. Rambler is going to go and take the safety door, and more likely than not, is going to take a death to refill his health.
Yeah, and that makes tons of sense.
Oh no, he's actually going to go for it with 2 hearts.
Ooh.
I believe he might. I think he.
Does he have a fairy?
I don't. I would say he has a fairy, as the tracker points out. He's got a fairy. So this is fair for Rambler to go this way, to go and do it without the flute or without a fairy.
So here's an interesting thing. So Wolfie's the only one so far that's checking left side swamp. So if the flute is there, he could be a game changer. Because who knows when Nielsen and Rambler will go back to Swamp Palace.
Exactly, because okay, so there's the death for Rambler. I think this will be the fairy pop for Rambler.
Oh,
there's a cave that leads.
Oh goodness! Oh my! So is the big key locked in its own chest? No, it is not. So we now know what's in the big key chest. It is one of the dungeon items. I don't remember which one. But yeah. So I'll go with so it is the map. So now we know where Book is. So we now have access to the tablets. So that could be, and if Flute is there again, NY Rambler and Nielsen Alex are going to be huge. It's going to be a huge lead for Wolfie. Huge.
Yeah, and especially too as we cross into the 1 hour mark, and Wolfie is a great runner, and so is everyone else. And it wouldn't be fair to not give them a follow. Give them all the follows that you really need. Tender Lake Rambler, NY Rambler, Nielsen Alex 92, and Wolfie are your racers for today out of a pool of 15. We're only gonna be able to show 4 of them, and our trackers for the day are Wind Fox 470 and Ednar, and I am Professor Surrender, and my co-com is Nitro 6003. Give us a follow as well. And we have a lot more action coming up. We'll get that information out as soon as we're done here. And Wolfie, so we have a bit of a predicament at this point. Wolfie will have the information has the necessary materials to get the book. It's, as far as we're concerned, we could have information about the pedestal regarding the flute, or the tablets will have the answer. It's a matter of if it does pay off. Nelson onto the Armos Knights, which is something that you gotta do, really, because you have we'll get our 5-6 crystals all locked in, and we'll have Pyramid Fairy ready to go. And just a shield for
Alright,
they
so
also
there
have
was
things
one
here.
item. So yeah, there was one more item in Eastern. It was not the item that would have given Wolfie that huge lead. It's that flute that we are now looking for, and potentially Pegasus boots. If that big key is on the torch in either desert or in GT. So those are the only two questions we now have remaining.
Yeah, this changes the tide of battle very quickly. And because we will now have access to if we had the flute, this is a game changer for Nelson Alex. If Wolfie finds the flute, then it's a matter of if Desert Palace's boots.
Well, the question is also, does he remember where the book is? Because it's been a while since he's been over there. So that's another question he has to answer.
I think Wolfie may have had that in the back of his mind for quite a while, and I wouldn't be surprised if Wolfie heads there right away just so he can go and do it. So he's going to the sanctuary. I think his call is to go and go and grab that book.
And then you go check the pedestal right away, see if it happens to be a ped seed, because then you can go finish Mothula and the rest of the dungeons, and then it turns into an oops all dungeon seed, except for Aga Tower.
That would be Agapet, and it's probably the worst thing ever. But
not to say anything bad, but the last seed I commentated on was an Agapet seed. It was really, really bizarre because Flute was behind Aga 1, which locked Misery Mire, which, because the Ice Rod was on Ped, it was just terrible.
Yeah, and pretty much Twitch chat had a field day about that.
Yes, they did.
So
yes, they did.
Typical. Okay, so Wolfie is going to have that book.
All right, so we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what he does with the information. Is he going to find the answer on Ped or not?
Nelson's doing the Smiths. This could also be a big.
Nobody's done the Smiths
changer.
yet because of the late Titan Smiths. So that was the last. That would be the last fetch quest: Smiths and Purple Chest.
And yeah, Hammer Pegs was only 20 rupees, and Wolfie is gonna head over to that. He's going to get that book, as we were saying. And Nelson, that blacksmith is going to yield a piece of heart. So it's now okay. You got Purple Chest now, and yeah, this is this right here. He's going to go for read the pedestal. It makes a lot of sense for Wolfie to go there right now, just to get it out of the way. I would.
And actually, if he reads it from this direction, well, I was going to say if he mirrored by the back of Swamp Palace, it could have been potentially smart, because then he could have dropped right down, killed Mothula, and then continued on to the other dungeons. Although he's still missing that bow in TR.
Well, it's a pendant, because I mean, even then it's a pendant. So, and like, I don't. We're gonna find the two items anyway. So, pedestal is.
Oh, it's a pen seed. We have a pen seed. All right, so there we go.
Oh my god! So this is good news for Wolfie. This is huge for Wolfie.
And so yeah, back of Swamp Palace. That's why, we were talking about this a little earlier in the broadcast, where, do you leave one item behind? Well, everybody else, the other three runners, have left the one item that they need to get the book to read the pedestal, and know that this is a ped seed and they have to go through all the dungeons. The problem is Wolfie does not have the bow yet. Looks like he's headed to TR, so that is a good decision if that's where he's headed next. because he will get his bow.
That's amazing. That's honestly, Wolfie has the information, but Nelson is right in Swamp Palace right now. He's double dipping it. Wait, he's leaving. He's leaving?
Oh,
he's leaving.
Yeah. So, this is gonna be really interesting.
Oh, this is interesting. So Wolfie, he's gonna do E for tablets. If the bow is here, he gets B. Well, yes, Wolfie will have to go do East. Will do Turtle Rock, but he'll be bailed out. So if this is the bow, then this is gonna be great. But it's not just 20 rupees. But this is great news. Nelson, he was in Swamp Palace, but opted to save and quit. Or no, he decided to mirror out because I think he was. I don't know if it was probably him. I don't know if he was counted his items wrong or wasn't like he doubted himself. I don't know. But okay, Twitch chat, eat it all up. You got yourself a pedestal seed for this one time. So.
Well, this will be my second ped seed in a row, so maybe I should stop commentating. I seem to be bad luck for the runners, because the last two for me have been ped seeds, and actually the last one directly was an Aga ped seed, so even better for chat.
I wouldn't say to stop commentating because
no, of course not.
Yeah. And yeah, chat is agreeing with me. You have to commentate all the races.
Okay, that could work too.
Okay, Wolfie is into Turtle Rock.
Well, this is definitely the smartest play. It's the most item density he has left, without the bow, and the other issue is that the other runners who, unless they smell pedestal seed, which they're probably not going to, right now they have no access to Desert Palace without the flute and knowing where the book is. So technically they need to find the cape to get the book because that's the only way to get to Desert Palace right now is the book or the flute, and both of those are locked behind the back of Swamp Palace.
Yes, and that's pretty big too. And then what's next? Quake is on Mystery Mire, and you gotta find that next.
Oh,
and then
hey, if that's the case, then I'm blaming you on that. I'm blaming you if that's the case.
No, I already blamed you for thinking that the flute was on the pedestal, and you got the commentator's curse out, and I need to get.
I'll take it. I'll take my beatings. It's okay with me. This is really fun. It's really fun because so often the pet is just money or bombs or just something totally useless, and for the rare occurrence where the pet actually has something, especially for chat, that we know how much they love pet seeds, so you get what you want occasionally.
Yeah, and
in this environment where everybody's stuck in the house anyway, does it really matter if you spend a little extra time playing randomizer?
Yeah, it's like a 4%. It's like a 4% chance from from some data that was compiled by some of our community members. Like a 4% chance of finding anything that's important on the pedestal.
Wasn't that Dr. Bob who did that?
That was Big Dunka.
Oh, I thought it was him. Okay, either way.
Yeah, he compiled a list of like 10,000 seeds. Compiled 10,000 seeds and concluded that out of all the seeds he generated, only around 4%, like approximately 4%, are pedestal seeds.
All right, so we got 4%. And the other problem is that everybody's gonna have to double dip pod.
Or no, not 4% like out of our pedestal seeds, but 4% have important items on the pad that is required by the progression. That's what I mean. Wolfie gonna take a death. I don't know. I think that was not intentional, but he does have the fairy, so he's good.
He is good. Well, and for Wolfie's point of view, after this, he'll probably go Pod Eastern, clear both of those, and then probably save Skull Woods for last, would be my guess. To do next, to then pull the ped, and then he also has to go back and do Thieves Town too. Oh no, he did that. Sorry. There's Rambler who has to go back and do Thieves Town.
So now Alex on to Cold Stare, and Technolink is gonna get the bow from out of Turtle Rock, and Wolfie is just right behind, but Wolfie's got the knowledge. Knowledge is power.
And you talked about that earlier. And like we said, they have no way to get into desert whatsoever. There's no way to get that book unless you go to the back and get that of Swamp Palace. And that is where the cape is, which leads you to the book.
Yeah, and this is especially good news so Wolfie will more likely clear out Turtle Rock, because I mean it's a crystal, and this will lead him into clearing Pod Eastern, and then Skull Woods, and then he can just mirror outside to get the pedestal, get the flute, activate it, head over to Meyer, and then
find out if we need Quake.
If Meyer's Quake, then the hunt continues. And if it's like boots, if the boots are like
locked. So yeah, the only two items that we potentially need left are boots and Quake. Now Rambler is doing something he doesn't know that he needs to do anyway. He is clearing Pod. Now he could go blind pull the pedestal if he so desired.
Exactly. Yeah. But the other thing about this too is that, for all we know, that book could yield, if it's up on the Bombos tablet, I don't know, the boots, then that going to get the
oh, there's powder. That's a nice item to have.
Yeah, but powder didn't have anything of use, so it'll mostly be for buddy beams and or anti-parries.
Yeah, but actually, NY Rambler's not actually on a bad thing, because if he goes up to Skull Woods right now, clears it, blind pulls the pedestal, and then hopes that Bombos Tablets doesn't have anything, he could totally not have to go to the back of Swamp, and then he could be right back in the lead. So it's still anyone's game. It's just a question of where he goes next.
Yeah, but I'm thinking too is that I was gonna say, if Quake or if boots are on the Bombos tablet, then Rambler's call to just blind pull the pedestal will only get him so far.
Yes.
It will only get him to
I doubt he's going to do that. He's probably going to go clear Thieves Town and continue with Crystal Dungeons, and then know that he missed something somewhere.
And yeah, this is exactly what I would say.
Bonus Go Woods.
But I think if I was Rambler, he's going on a dungeon clearing spree. He might be also thinking to go back into. Oh, he is going to go Skull. Okay, so he's going Skull. I got the two crystals mixed, the two prizes mixed up. So he will be getting. So he will get the flute, but there's still that really random possibility that you need to get the book regardless.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but yep.
But yeah, this is very crucial for NY Rambler. He's
done all the right things so far. He doesn't know that it's the right move, but he'll find out shortly.
Yeah, this is the right call. Rambler is going to blind pull the pedestal, And that will put him substantially ahead of Wolfie.
Yeah, exactly, because of the dungeon count too. Because remember, Wolfie still needs to do Pod, he still needs to do Skull Woods. And he still needs to do Ice too. So he's gonna have a massive lead.
And by then, Rambler will head back to Thieves Town, clear out Blind, and then he'll probably activate the flutes then, before going to Thieves Town, and then go kill Blind, and then flute away over to Meyer to figure out what that medallion is, and then just hope to God the boots are not like blocking behind the book or something.
Yeah, that could be bad too. We'll have to wait and find out.
Okay,
but
so
here we go, folks.
So this is the big key. So the big key there, but this is the final.
We already have all the items from here anyway.
Yeah, right. And then that means too, Rambler will be the first player to go and get the pedestal before anyone else.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is exceptional for Wolfie. Now, this is exceptional. This is great for Rambler because that will put him. This will put him way ahead of. This will put him way ahead of everyone else in the pack. There's the legendary flute.
He has won the flute. Yeah, I would definitely think he's gonna probably go straight to Thieves Town, clear that out, flute away, and then see what Meyer has for him.
Yeah, and this puts Rambler way ahead, and this actually makes Rambler's call to blind pull the pedestal very much worth it. I think he may have thought to go he's like, okay, I think you need to find the pendants, and decided to Galaxy bring it. This is exactly what Rambler intended. This was going to be great news, and Nilsson might opt to do it as well. Because he's heading to Skullwood, he's heading to the Dark World and going to Skullwoods right now. This is it. He's going to go and blind pull the pedestal as well. That will also put Nilsson, let's say, a little bit closer to Rambler. But again, they're going to be close by because of the crystal count and the dungeon count.
Well, then the only question is that book still required? We don't know.
Exactly.
We know the pet is required. We don't know if the book is required. We don't know what's on the Bombos medallion.
Right, and this is very important too. If you're cheering on Rambler and or Nilsson Alex, Wolfie knows where the cape is, and ultimately knows where the book and ultimately got the book from it. For all we know, Rambler could still end up, and Wolfie could still be ahead of the pack. And is not aware of it until they find out. Oh, right, left side swamp has the cape, and that is where the Bombos medallion has what we need. Either it would be Quaker boots, but more specifically the boots. If in the event that something catastrophic happens, like big key on the torch or either big key on torch, both. Gans Tower and the Desert Palace having the 5-6 crystal, or the 5-6 crystal, the on the torch. Let me try again. Desert Palace and GT big keys are on the torch. Either or.
Right, exactly. So we'll have to wait and see now.
So
it is the wait and see.
So this is the flute. This is the flute activation for NY Rambler. This right here was the right call to make it, and we have the legendary bird or duck, peckneck, whatever you want to call it. The duck's out.
The goose is on the loose.
Yeah, as most commentators would say. But okay. On to Misery Mire, the Mire area. This is the only thing that's left. So, will we have to find the Quake, or will we have to find the boots? Survey will. Okay, it's onto that now. Nelson Alex is pulled the pedestal right now, blind pulled, and he will get the flute. And Survey says Survey
It is
said
Bombos.
boats.
So now the only question is where is the boot somewhere? And we're about to find out. Now the last question is if the key if the boots are not required for this, the boots could certainly still be required for GT. So there's still still more possibilities. So let's see. Is it boots locked? Not yet. We still may need the boots for the big key on the big chest, on the torch in
Gas
GT.
tower.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing left is the boots, but it is a 1 in 22 chance of that.
Yeah, this is it. We're almost there. Rambler is in the
And I
driver's
think
seat.
Rambler's assuming he's in go mode.
Yes, and this is important because Rambler could end up. I mean, there's that possibility that the boots could end up being somewhere else. If it's here in Desert Palace, or like on Lammolis, or in Misery Mire from Vitreous, then Rambler has nothing to worry about, where he's in full-on go mode, and it's just a matter of him completing the seed and finishing out strong.
Yep, exactly. And I've seen runners in seeds I haven't commentated where they have not gone where an item was either on the pedestal or in a weird place like the back of swamp and found ways around it. And so far, NY Rambler and Nielsen Alex have done that. The only question is the boots required? If they are, and they're on the tablets, well, then that puts Wolfie right back. So we'll have to wait and see at this point, as you said.
Yeah, this is the worst possible scenario for either Nelson Alex or Rambler, and I like what Nelson Alex is doing right now. There's a map for on Lammolis, so there's still a possibility of it having to be on the right side of GT, or right side, or on the big chest of Desert Palace, but that because we already found the 10 arrows on the torch. And Nelson Alex, again, I was gonna say, I like what Nelson Alex is doing. He's gonna route in Mire and Desert Palace all in one.
Yep.
And just a hard piece on Desert Ledge, hoping to find boots there, but no. But Rambler on the way over to Mire right away.
He's not checking Mire Shed. Yeah, he's definitely going in his go mode.
Yeah, he's assuming he's in go mode, which is fair. I think this is the correct call for Rambler in a situation where he assumes he's in go mode and has not gone for anything else. And Wolfie will be directly on their way over to. He will be directly on the way over to getting their flute from the pedestal. Just gotta go through Skull Woods, and that'll be it.
Yep. What a seed!
Oh, for sure, yeah. And we're still not done with this. We have to find out if the GT Big Key is on that torch. And for all we know, and this is just going off of my own fever dream, for all we know, it could be a required GT double dip, because that will forever be one of my favorite moments in the entirety of my experience, in my time commentating.
Hey, I'll go along with you for the ride, so I would love to see that too. Never seen a double dip of GT.
Yeah, it was in a situation where it was this past main tournament, 2019 tournament, where Jetting 2 had won the whole entire tournament, but it was really early on. It was Bonta versus Linden Lin. The boots were on the tablet, or on the Ether tablet. The book was in Fire Snake room, and the silver arrows were on the Tau room. And it was hard required for you to get the book out of GT, and it was a hard locked required double dip, and it's something I will never see ever unless this happens here in this scene, which I honestly think it will be a long time until that happens again.
Yeah. Or if they change and like make a low crystal count to get into GT, then it could happen where you do double dip.
The thing is though, this was 7-7.
No,
Right.
yeah. In a 7-7, you're right. But I mean, in a 3-7 or a low crystal count to get into GT, then it certainly could happen there too, which would be interesting.
Except that would make more sense because the lessened junk fill. So Wolfie finishes off Mafula, got the final pendant, and will get their flute, and Technolink is also heading over to Skullwoods right now, get their final pendant. Rambler is in full control, and now is a matter of Nilsson is going through the back now. He's got the big key, and it's pretty much now a matter of you. It's a matter of you going to Desert Palace and getting that done. Rambler will probably be ahead, I would say.
It'll be close.
It's gonna be close.
It's gonna be really close. These two runners, it's gonna be really close.
Yeah, it will probably come down to execution at this point in time if the two can handle out. But of course, Rambler had already got their big key got Desert Palace all cleared out. But Nilsson had got the big key out into Meyer first, and already starting to make their ascent, to make their climb over to Vitreous, and then inevitably go up to Desert Palace, clear out Lamolas, get the final.
Which is a quick fight, and knowing where the big key is, it shouldn't be that terrible. It's going to be really close between these two guys.
Yeah,
and that's the way you want to see it. You don't want to see anyone just blowing all the runners out of the water. So yeah, you definitely like to see the closer games like this.
And to answer a question in chat regarding how they knew the flute was on the pedestal without the book, they had to blind pull it. They don't know the information until they literally got all 3 pendants and pulled the pedestal, because you're allowed to pull the pedestal as soon as you have all 3 medallions. The book is never like hard required. You're only able to read it, but not like actually use it as a way to open up to use to get the pedestal opened up or at least pulled. You have to have all 3 medallions regardless, and as a result of that, it's possible for the book to be on the pedestal through a blind pull. And yeah, it's one of those things, for sure. And Technolink is on the Mafula fight right now, and Nelson Alex is on their way over to Desert Palace right away, and this will be the final crystal for Nelson Alex, while Rambler is just about ready to close the gap here, like about to start that really close race between Nelson Alex and NY Rambler. It will really come down to execution at this point in time. And again, it's still possible that Wolfie may have the advantage because of the book, and for all we know, the GT Big Key is on the torch, and will either be like on any of the tablets, or well, on Bondo's tablet, because either tablet was checked. Technolink is blind pulling the pedestal, and will get their flute.
Now this is going to be really close because Nielsen Alice is just a couple rooms away from getting his final crystal, and Rambler is about to get his final crystals. So those of you who don't know, we have a little game we like to play now. There's a 1 in 22 chance of where the big key will be in GT. In chat right now, put a number between 1 and 22 of where the big key will be. And sir, where do you think the big key will be this afternoon?
Anything but the torch. Honestly. Especially in the case, but this is only going for Rambler and Nelson Alex. And Technolink as well. But this is important for NY Rambler, and for pretty much everyone else except for Wolfie. If the key is on the torch, then for all we know, if it's not in GT, then it has to be somewhere else. We've gone through a lot of checks, and we had to go through a lot of checks anyway, because we it was not a god mire, and we had to find the big key at its normal location in the cutscene chest.
Well, we know we haven't seen Pyramid Fairy,
Right.
so it could be there. It could be on one of the tablets. It could be in GT. So yeah, good times. I'm going with 6 though. I'm not cursing these runners any further than saying that it was a ped required seed because of the flute. But as long as it's not on the torch, as you said, Rambler and Nielsen will be fine. And for Wolfie, he's probably hoping and praying it is on there, and that the Bombos tablet has the boots, and he would go straight there.
Rambler got dead rock there, but Nelson had decided to go for potions, so that offsetted that probably just offsetted a bit of and my Rambler's a little bit of time wasted from waiting for the dead rock to go off the screen to get to be undead rocked, and or just despawning them off the screen and then coming back to go for another shot at it. But Rambler's on their way over 21, so we will not have a bot. And we're not probably using the bot for the rest for the iPhone in the league as well. But if we did, then it was a possibility. But at this point in time, this is all that matters. So we have my Rambler has gotten all 7 crystals. Is gonna break the seal on GT, and guesses will close as soon as NY Rambler has entered GT. And with that, 21 chests and a torch separates NY Rambler from getting the big key and completing the seed. Let's do this. Hope to God it's not on the torch.
Alright, he's starting right.
Number 1 in the Hope Room.
Mirror Shield.
A Mirror Shield. Number 2.
There it is.
The big key.
Oh.
NY Rambler.
So blind pulling the pedestal, the right choice, not needing the book and not needing the cape, so the back of Swamp Palace again falls through.
It's over. Pretty much at this point, NY Rambler, it's over. It's over. It's go mode.
Yep.
You got everything to go. You got everything. It's just a matter of getting the heck out of here.
Yep, exactly. There was a key on the torch though, it just wasn't the right size. It was the small key. It was a key on there.
Right. At this point, too, Nilsson and NY Rambler, it's gonna come down to execution.
Yeah, exactly.
Rambler has started his tower climb. Nilsson Alex has already broken the seal on Gen's tower. It's a matter of going to the left side in order to finish it off. He's gonna go left side, so this is gonna be an execution race. Yeah, everything's gonna come down to execution.
And he's gonna get it on his first try.
This is exceptional for Nilsson Alex. Getting on the first go is very, very much important. They're a minute. So as some of our chat points out, we have at least a minute's worth of between these two. It's just a matter of execution and a matter of how they get through it here. As far as our big key guessing game is concerned, we have Rain Prowler at guessing 3, just one being the closest answer to number 2 being the one who guessed it first. So congratulations, you've pretty much even though it was not number 3 as it like for the torch, it was close enough. And my Rambler is on the gauntlet. Has started the gauntlet fight not too long ago too. Gotta be cautious here. He's got half a heart, but he's got that red potion, so he should be good to go. He's having that on standby just in case.
And Nielsen Alex is right on his tail.
Exactly. And this is gonna be very awesome. This is gonna come down to the wire. It really depends on what happens. He's gonna have to pop the red potion here. That will cost him a bit of time as he's waiting for the refill to go through. Okay, I like this too. He's gonna power the bunny beam. More likely than not. Oh wait. Okay.
Oh, and he doesn't. Not able to catch the fairy. All right, so Nielsen Alex has now officially entered the gauntlet.
This is tough. Now, Rambler, if he takes a death here, this would be catastrophic because that will put Nilson Alex in control of the lead. And Nilson has more parts to work with during this run.
And he's just destroying the gauntlet.
Yeah, he's executing a lot better than Rambler in this case.
And he's catching up. He's definitely making up time.
To Wiz Rope 1 and 2 we go. One of my favorite ropes in the entirety of this game. And because of how satisfying it is to get Wiz Rope 2 down pat. He's also not going to go and get the fairy because he has blue potions. He's pretty much good to go.
Yep. It's gonna be how well they do against Aga 2. It's how well they execute against Ganon. Yeah, it's going.
And a really good Moldarn 2 fight, Lambo 2 fight for Nilson Alex. He's making up more and more time as Rambler continues the run through, going through Torches 1 and 2. Hopefully does not despawn the sprites because that will put Nilson Alex in control of that lead. He's staying still, so that will prevent him from having to climb up the tower if he were to despawn those sprites.
That would be terrible.
Onto Mulder. He's going to be checking a few more chests. I'm assuming his intention here is probably to find silver arrows.
Or the extra key.
That's too. I mean, yeah, that's too. But like, even then, you would get a key either way, so it doesn't. I don't think it really matters.
With that fairy, I think he's safe now.
He's got, yeah, it should be good to go. So, piece of heart in that pre-Moldarn 2 chest.
They are on the same floor. He has made up a ton of time. That could have been dangerous if he fell off.
Nelson is often to go did not check the chest. And 50 rupees in Moldarn 2 chest. No silver arrows. We're going silverless.
Yep. And for these guys, silverless is gonna be like another day in the park.
Yeah, this is good news for this will be great for Nilson Alex. This is going to be pretty big. Rambler onto Aga 2, but Nilson Alex taking a fall onto Moldarn 2. This could actually give him Rambler a bit more time to get through the dungeon. This is gonna be very close. Just hang on tight, ladies and gentlemen. That's Moldarn 2 down for Nilson Alex. And my Rambler having taking a bit of a long time on this Aga 2 fight, finding. Nilson Alex getting
down goes Aga 2.
Aga 2 is down. Big Moldarn is onto the fight Ganon. A fall here would be catastrophic for NY Rambler. Nilson Alex making up more time. Fourth cycle for NY Rambler's Aga 2 fight. We'll see if Nilson Alex can perform
better. Do it faster?
Yeah, if he can do it faster, this will put NY Rambler and Nilson Alex very, very close. But these patterns are not really the best. I want to say that was one.
That was definitely one. And two
that
more.
Was also one.
Oh, he didn't get the second?
I think he may have got hit twice. Oh, that could have been a triple.
Alright, so that was 4. So the question is if he falls to Ganon, and he's obviously probably not going to die. If he falls, that would be the difference. So that's where we're at. We're almost at phase 3, just about, and we start phase 3 as Nilson Alex is making the drop. So a fall here will put Nilson Alex in the lead.
This is all that matters. He's on to phase 3 right now. This is going to be huge for Nilson, for Rambler, for Nilson, for any of these. If one of them fall, this will put them into a never significant lead. Silver arrows were in GT, so we were not going to get those silver arrows anytime soon because of how the big key was laid out. It was probably going to be in like Tile Room or something. This is all going to be a spin game at this point. Torch glitch for MI Rambler.
And getting the torch glitch, especially without silvers, is the most important, obviously, because then you don't have to worry about lighting 2 torches. You only have to worry about lighting 1.
But look at Dulcinella's life counter. He's at 2.5. He's at 2.5 hearts. He's got a fairy in hand. He's gonna use the red potion just to make sure he saves that blue potion in hand. This is the correct call. And my Rambler, I haven't counted his spins yet, but I haven't counted spins. He's getting very close. It looks like he's very close though. He's getting those triples, so it should be pretty quick. He probably has to be at least about 4 or so spins, like 4 light torchlights if he does it correctly. It may need to go another torchlight here, just to finish it out. It's gonna go for doubles now. This will be a double. Onto face, and that's gonna be it. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs in chat for NY Rambler. And all he's gotta do now is cross the 1x3 bridge. Nilson Alex is right behind him. And he's already done his phase 4 underway. NY Rambler will be finishing first place on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:43 flat, and that is good enough for second place overall. And that will be just behind NY Rambler. Chloe Power sniping first place with an official SRL time of 1:39.49.
What a seed.
This was, yeah, you just said it right there. What a seed. It was chaos all the way through, and we're not even playing Final Fantasy, and because that would be a different chaos in itself. And welcome, NY Rambler. We will get you two in for you and Nelson Alex in for an interview pretty soon, as he's on phase 4 as well.
Oof, what a seed.
GG's.
For sure.
Oh, I had fun. That was fun.
Yeah, so Nelson Alex finishing, get your GG's to chat for him, and we'll get the official time in pretty soon, and we'll get you and Nelson, have you two answer my questions, and my questions alone, because Nitro here had to curse us with a pedestal seed, but official SRL time of 1:44.10, second place on the restream, 4th overall, and just behind Nose and Nose is Corride in 3rd place with a time of 1:43.02.
To be fair, I was the one to curse this because I rolled this.
Yeah, fair enough. So, what made you decide to go for the blind pull?
Basically the fact that I found bow in Turtle Rock, I figured my progression for the flute had to be behind that bow. Otherwise, the seed was really weird because of where all the placements were. So I decided, let me just go for it. I can always, because my plan was if it wasn't there, I was going to come back down, finish Thieves Town, then do Smith Chain Purple Chest. And I had all that down there. I might have done Magic Bet first after doing the pedestal play. But of course, pedestal had the flute, so that was almost go mode for me. Just had to confirm that I didn't need Boot to Quake, and I did not, so there you go.
And we welcome Nilson Alex 92 into the booth. GG to you.
GG's, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Okay, what? My biggest important question for me: what made you decide to blind pull the pedestal?
Because I only had like left side swamp left and something else. I don't remember what it was, but it felt better just to do it because it's a daily race. I didn't have much to lose, I guess.
So just so you guys are aware, the cape was in the back of left side swamp, which led to the book, which led to Wolfie getting the information to us first that it was a pedestal required seed.
Well, I guess we got lucky.
Yeah, there was zero chance I was doing left side swamp there.
Redgar was cursing you guys out too because he was saying that like if the boots were required and were on Bombos, you guys were in trouble. So there you go.
Exactly, because
I'll take the reign for the pedestal required seed, but he would have taken the reign for if it was.
The boots were on Bombos?
If the boots were on Bombos tablet and if the Big He was on the torch.
I assume probably no one found boots. They're probably in GT.
Yeah, I guess it's in GT at this point, I guess.
GT or Pyramid Fairy would be my guess.
Pyramid Fairy. I think a bit of desert. I don't know what we saw there. But oh boy, this was quite a wild one for sure, and I don't blame you all for having these feelings where like, I mean, you for all intents and purposes, you two, Galaxy brained it. You two were very, very close coming into GT as well. It was about a minute between you two, and it really just came down to, I think, that fall. I think there was a fall on Moldorm that happened.
Yeah, that was mine. I will take full blame on that one.
Well, I died a blind twice, so I had to go wait to kill him afterwards.
Yeah.
He's still tough, apparently, with 7 hearts green mail.
You had the script, right?
I always lose the script when I fight him.
Yeah. Fair.
I drop it off outside.
Fair. But anyway, for Technolink, got past Wizrobes 1 and 2 onto Torches 1 and 2. Wolfie starting the gauntlet.
I'm gonna say it was pretty fun seed to play, except for the flute being on pedestal. It was pretty straightforward for a while. Didn't expect to find so many progression items in just Swamp, but
that blew my mind.
Yeah, same here. I was like, I thought Pod would have the answers, but nothing. It was totally empty. So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was doing Swamp, I was just like, you know, I didn't expect to find a Mitz there. I thought Mitz was going to be on Sahasha or anything. But when I found the Mitz on itself, I went straight to Ice Battles because it was right there, and it's easy with Icebreak. Yeah, the only downside I think for this seed is lack of boots. Otherwise, this seed would be really good. I mean, I like pedestal seeds, especially when I can gamble blind pulling them without doing Swift Chain. That's fun.
Yeah, this is especially good for you two, and this was because you had to Galaxy braid it, and it really just turned out to be the right call in the very point in time. It just was a matter of going through 3 of those those potential Gobo blockades, that being the Quake and the 2 big keys on the Torch.
Well, I mean, if we need boots or Quake, well, at least boots. If we need boots, I would probably not finish this one, because there's no way I would probably not go back to Swan Palace at this point. There's like, yeah, I would probably not.
Yeah, left side swamp was going to be the very last thing I did, also.
Yeah, which is fair, and Wolfie would have had the big advantage going into it. It was just those blockades that stopped the two. But anyway, to bring us back to the game here, Technolink is onto the Aga 2 fight, while Wolfie got through Wizrobes 1 and 2. I think he took a fall. Wolfie took a fall on this guard room onto Torches 1 and 2. He's running with 2 hearts.
But I'm going to bail out. Thank you guys for putting me on the restream, and thank you for the commentary and the tracking, and I hope you guys get a good evening.
No sweat.
Peace out, brother.
Okay, Technolink finishes up Aga 2. Wolfie's on the way over to Moldorm 2. This could be also a pretty close race too between Technolink and Wolfie. It really will be a fall that stops Technolink, but will be bringing Wolfie and Technolink pretty close by. And I'm guessing some bacon facts from Ganon that I just read. Oh, Wolfie got bailed out here with that hard piece that gave the refill.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with a slash and a spin, that down goes at Moldorm 2. It's gonna hook shot out of the Moldorm 2 chest. Gonna have to finish it off here. And yeah, and pretty much everyone had checked Moldorm 2 just to hope for the silvers being close by. I wouldn't put them against them whatsoever, especially now that we knew that silvers were in GT, and Technolink was gonna find out pretty soon. this was quite a wild seed with collection rates of 145 for Nelson Adams and 151 for NY Rambler. And Technolink is on to phase 4 of the Ganon fights. Wolfie onto Aga 2. So now it's a matter of spinning and winning. Technolink gonna have to kind of get a little close here with that down to 2.5 hearts. Wolfie having a bit of trouble on this Aga fight, but gets him down. What it looks like. Technolink may be able to make up himself in a good position here. Setting up for the triples.
And this is a good reason of why you should learn, if you don't, how to do Silverless, because looking for, I mean, obviously if they're in GT, you know, you have to find them, great, but if you don't, and you have to go searching for them just to defeat Ganon, definitely not a good idea. So definitely learning Silverless is so important.
Yeah, it's a very important tech, especially if you're going to be playing in Advanced Logic, because the Advanced Logic will expect you to know Silverless Ganon from the off. Technolink is going to spend a bit of time getting ready for the triple here. Ooh, it's way too far away for him to even get a triple going. And down goes Ganon for Technolink. Get your GGs in chat for Technolink, firing off a bunch of fire rod shots just to seal the deal. Get some more like very crispy bacon. I don't know. And for good measure, lighting that torch, and Technolink would be finishing 3rd on the restream of an official SRL time of 54:03, and that's good for 6th place overall. And just behind him, Plasma Kappa 5th place of a time of 146:24. And of course, if you're not familiar with Plasma Kappa, his comment is sign out. And we are joined by Technolink. GG's to you.
GG's.
Well, yo, Technolink.
I can try it, yes. I need to unmute myself. That is like one of the prerequisites to talk, right?
Yes. So
Well,
I'm gonna ask you. I want to ask you one thing, and one thing in particular. Why did you decide to blind pull the pedestal?
I had almost nothing left and I fell behind. So I was
And-
like, okay, either someone found all the items they needed, or it's on pet and I still have a chance.
And you did have a chance for sure, and you had, for sure you did quite an outing too, and Wolfie had gone for the book with it. That was the book, the cape. That's where the that's the cape. That's where the book, and that's also Wolfie's fight gauge or GG's in chat for Wolfie. That's across the 1x3 bridge, and that will be the end of these runners for today's daily race. And he'll be finishing 4th on the race stream, but with an official SRL time of 1:55:32, good enough for 7th place overall. Sorry.
Yeah. So at the very least, we can now change our team name. Because it's no longer Will Pool Pet for food, it's going to be Will Pool Pet for flute.
You can thank Nitro for that. Thank you very much.
Hey, just because the last 2 seeds I've commentated have been pet seeds doesn't mean anything. And by the way, I'm blaming Render because he almost gave you guys like a heart attack because he was talking about Boots or Quake being on Bombo's tablet. So there you go.
I was
And
hoping
we're
for
also-
something like that.
Yeah, and we're joined by Wolfie. GG's to you.
GG.
Yeah.
GG.
Okay, well, so everyone else pulled the pedestal blindly, and what made you decide? What made you decide to go for left side swamp, just to find out, just to get that, just to find like, to go for that? So was it because of a full clear that you decided to go?
I mainly thought I had so many items left, so I thought I'm gonna do it right away. and seeing, oh god, there's Cape, now a book, maybe some of the tablets are in logic, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but the good thing is that you gave the Wolfie, you had the information from the off while everyone else on the restream had to blind pull it, just so that way they knew right away, because then you had the information from the off, and there was a possibility that for all we know the boots could have been on the Bombos tablet or like Pyramid Fairy or whatever. With that book being that could be very important to you later on down the road if for whatever reason the two big keys were on their respective torches in Desert Palace and GT.
Yeah, exactly. But it didn't happen. I mean, it was okay, I think, in the big perspective. But yeah, happened.
Definitely. So we're gonna have to wrap things up here for you, plus for Tendalink and you, Wolfie. Any final thoughts on the seeds before we have to wrap things up?
If I just listened to myself and went straight into escape, this would have been so much easier.
Yeah, same.
For sure.
The moment I found Hammer in back of escape, or rather in Dark Cross, I was like, yeah, we can do this. We can go straight to Dark Worlds. Only to find out that I had to check everything for the next bit of progression. Oh well.
Okay, GG's to you too, both of you. And that will do it for today's ALTTPR daily race. Looking at the schedule right now, we have starting pretty soon here on SJ4. We have the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Spring Tournament match. We have Starting Ref 11 and the Hangry Canuck. And this will be quite a fun one if you are like to watch Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. Going on right now on Speed Gaming number 2, we have the Super Metroid multi-category tournament, and also we'll be having another tournament, another match of that on Speed Gaming 2. Coming up on Speed Gaming 1, we have the Mario Kart 64 Grand Prix No Skips tournament. And then we also have, going from 6 p.m. a little bit onwards, we also have the Zelda 1 Randomizer Random Percent tournament on Speed Gaming 1. Will be quite a frenzy there. 5 p.m. coming up in about an hour. We have the first couple of matches of the ALTTPR League Season 2, Week 6, the Spoiler Log Key Sanity Co-Pilot Week. They'll be starting with the Sexy Gans versus Misty Bow. This will be a quite fun one. And then coming up pretty soon on Speed Gaming number 2, we have the Super Mario Bros. 3 points-based tournament. And then at 8 p.m. on Speed Game number 4, another Seas League match, and also one on Speed Game number 5, about 30 minutes after that. And then at 30 minutes after that, on Speed Game number 3, we have the Pac-Man World 2 2020 Any Percent tournament. And then to wrap things up for your night, at Speed Game number 2, we have at 11 p.m. another Super Mario Bros. 3 points-based tournament. And if you want to keep a track on all the Speed Gaming channels, definitely follow all the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as our multilingual channels, Spanish, Dutch, French, and Portuguese. Follow all the runners. They did an excellent show here. We had Wolfie, NY Rambler, Technolink, and we also had Nils and Alex, right? Nils and Alex. And our trackers for the day were Etnar and WindFox470. I'm doing bad with names right now. And of course, I'm Professor Render, and my co-comp was SnatchJoe6003. But until then, may all your seeds be not pedestal seeds. Always assume the pedestal was dead until it's proven otherwise, like we've seen right here. And take it easy. I'm off to play Valorant. Take it easy.
Adios.